Straight ahead on CCX News, a domestic abuse victim's personal story.
I was in a place where I was walking on eggshells on a regular basis.
Her courage to tell it and her hope that it will empower other victims. Plus, another Highway 169 project, this one causing backups into Brooklyn Park. And later, luxury apartment living magnified. The latest apartment complex under construction aiming to attract working professionals. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a Robbinsdale woman's story shows the difficulties of being involved in an abusive relationship.
She is now sharing her story of struggle and survival to help others. Here's reporter Sonia Goins.
At one point, Sandra Avelli's life was as choppy as the waters of Crystal Lake. And by all accounts, she shouldn't even be here to tell her story.
It hit me like I was a man.
In 1993, she married a man who she thought was going to love and protect her.
He charmed me. We left Minnesota, went to Las Vegas.
They eventually had a child together, but the relationship was rocky.
He became very abusive, and he was not faithful. So I would confront the situation, and it was my way or the highway.
She tried to leave several times, but he continued to beat her.
A lot of punching. He had threatened my family that he was going to harm them if I didn't come back.
Neighbors called police, and Sandra's abusive husband ended up in jail. But Sandra felt guilty. She bailed him out as she left town.
I finally was done. Like, I'm not going back. You can have everything. I don't want anything but my freedom.
Although they separated, Sandra's husband wasn't out of her life. Working through a mediator, she agreed to a custody arrangement with the couple's son.
We had an agreement that he would keep him a certain time and I would keep him.
But things turned south again.
Then he starts looking through my house, ransacking everything.
Sandra says he took guns that she had purchased for protection.
I had a permit to carry.
He pointed one of those weapons at her.
Puts me on my knees in front of him, assassination style. Now, mind you, this is a double-barrel shotgun that I loaded because I had it for protection.
He hit her with the gun and then pulled the trigger.
All bodily functions, everything went because I figured that was it.
Luckily, the weapon jammed.
He opened it to see if there were 2 shells still in there, and he pulled the trigger again, and it did the same thing. And at this point, he fell to his knees with me and started crying.
Sandra consoled him. She did and said whatever it took to calm him down.
I don't know if he's going to come back. I don't know if I'm going to live another day.
But she did survive. Her husband went to jail after Sandra pressed charges. He was sentenced to 5 years and 5 months. And Sandra spent the next years living in fear.
I was walking on eggshells on a regular basis, always looking over my shoulder.
It took some time, but Sandra finally realized her worth.
I have a tattoo on my foot that says faith with each step, and that is a clear reminder to me to keep going forward.
She became stronger on the outside too, working out in the gym.
I learned how to defend myself enough to where I'm still here.
In 2006, she became a professional bodybuilder.
I wanted to take control, and I wanted to show that I could emerge from all of this.
She vows never again to let anyone harm or take her peace.
I find it very rewarding to help others find their strength. I don't know where things will go, but I know I have purpose.
Sandra is now in a good place. She started her own personal training business to help others take control of their lives, especially those caught up in domestic abuse situations. She wants them to know that there is help available. Mike and Alex, there are several organizations in our area that are out there to help victims. We put all that information on our website.
All right. Great story. Thanks, Sonia. Most road construction projects in the Twin Cities metro area are winding down, but that is not the case in Brooklyn Park and Champlin. Work has begun on Highway 169 from north of the 610 freeway to the Mississippi River Bridge. Currently, concrete pavement resurfacing and repairs are being done between East Hayden Lake Road and 610. And there will also be new crosswalks, improved turn lanes, and a new pedestrian bridge between 101st and 109th. Drivers will, however, face slowdowns.
People are going to need to expect delays on the south end of the project, south of Hayden Lake Road down to 610 for the next few weeks as we build crossovers down there. so that next spring, as the construction season starts, we'll be able to kick it off full speed.
On the north end of the project, MnDOT will replace bridges over Elm Creek and straighten out the curves between East Hayden Lake and the Mississippi River. Meantime, road work is underway that makes it more difficult to access or cross I-494 in Plymouth. The Rockford Road overpass will be reduced to one lane in each direction for concrete approach repairs. The project is expected to last through Friday, October 27th. Traffic delays are expected.
Maple Grove officials are taking a second look at a big game bash concert for Super Bowl weekend. That tops our look inside City Hall. The big game bash concert would be held under a heated tent in Maple Grove Central Park on the Saturday before the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. The idea was tabled earlier this month while the council got some questions answered. A decision may be made Monday night on whether to go forward or focus on a summer concert instead. Well, Maple Grove may also get some direction on recycling organics. The city says garbage haulers are rapidly getting up to speed since it may eventually be required. But how to do it efficiently is still being figured out. 3 possible options include using a separate cart, using a special bag that gets put in the garbage cart, or a bag that goes in the recycling cart.
For more than 30 years, the Salvation Army has collected and passed out new or gently used coats to children in need. The collection bins are out again at Salvation Army locations like this one in Brooklyn Park. And for the next 2 weeks, they will be collecting not only coats, but also hats, mittens, snow boots, and snow pants. And new this year, the Salvation Army will not be holding a single-day coat distribution, but instead passing out coats throughout the winter.
They can come in throughout the winter. They'll have a chance to meet with a social worker, perhaps hear about other programs that might be helpful to them and to their families. So the idea is just to help create a more personal relationship and stretch out that interaction throughout the winter.
You can drop off donations at any Salvation Army service center. Still ahead on CCX News, a Golden Valley apartment complex with plenty of bells and whistles.
We'll take you there next. Plus, highlights from week 7 of the prep football season featuring a trio of local winners.
But first, an autumn warm-up. Tuesday, sunshine and close to 70. We'll be right back.
At the intersection of I-394 and Highway 100, one of Golden Valley's most visible high-rise apartments is just a few months from opening.
In this week's Business Matters, we look at the Talo apartment project and the rental housing boom that's happening in Golden Valley. Amid the dust of construction, a new 6-story apartment building rises in Golden Valley. Perched at the intersection of I-394 and Highway 100 with views of the Minneapolis skyline, Talo apartments are all about location, location, location.
We have the highway visibility and we have this great access to downtown, but it's really nestled inside of a neighborhood. So that's a very unique characteristic of this site.
When the first tower is completed April 1st, tenants at Talo will have access to a lazy river and pool, as well as a Zen garden and walking path. They're upscale amenities designed to attract new residents who have plenty of choices when it comes to new rental housing options.
I think a lot of the demand was pent up during the Great Recession. Not only Golden Valley, but Edina, St. Louis Park, other West Metro communities felt that kind of sag a little bit, and then as the economy recovered, a bunch of projects kind of broke forth.
More than 6 new rental projects with 1,500 total units are in various stages in Golden Valley. The Liberty Townhomes opened late summer, and nearly 200 Liberty apartments will open next year. And construction is just beginning for the Xenia. More than 350 apartments, which likely won't open until 2019.
When we approved these, we were looking at attracting some new people. I think providing some housing options that weren't necessarily there before, especially with townhomes and some of these larger apartment buildings.
Back at Talo, its name and its 303 apartments are expected to have broad appeal.
It means house in Finnish. So it's really a homage to the Scandinavian roots of Minneapolis and its surrounding areas.
With the Scandinavian-style sauna and other wet and dry amenities, the project developer predicts both professionals and empty nesters will find a home here. Studio apartments start in the $1,300 range and rise to the $2,000 range and up for a 2 or 3 bedroom place. Still ahead, remembering the Golden Valley School that inspired the logo for the Minnesota Vikings.
But first, the Wayzata girls and boys soccer teams shoot for big playoff wins. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Wayzata boys are the top-ranked soccer team in Class AA this fall. The Trojans are looking to make their 3rd trip to the state tournament in the past 4 years. They face Minneapolis Southwest in the Section 6 AA semifinals. Wayzata dominates the first half. They break through to score here. Eric Williams, the corner kick. Ethan Wagner volleys it in with the left foot. That's all for the scoring. Wayzata stays unbeaten with a 1-0 win. They'll host St. Louis Park in the final Tuesday night. Maple Grove boys also won Saturday. They'll host St. Cloud Tech on Tuesday. The Wayzata girls soccer team is ranked 2nd in the state, but they're seeded 1st in Section 6 AA. They look to advance to the finals as they face Cretin-Derham Hall in the semifinals. Highlights from this one: Lily Gilbertson makes a nice move and buries a shot here. Wayzata grabs a 1-0 lead 11 minutes into the match. Cretin relegated to defending most of the day. Alexis Hayden is stopped, but Emily Dillon knocks the rebound in 2.5 minutes into the second half, and the Trojans are up 2-0. They'll add another goal. Sydney Remark's corner kick will be headed in by Trinity Christine. Wayzata rolls to a 3-0 win. They'll host top-ranked Minneapolis Washburn for the title Tuesday at 5 o'clock. In Class A soccer, Totino-Grace's boys team is the top seed in a loaded Section 5 field. Eagles hosted Brooklyn Center in the quarterfinals. The Eagles score early. Centaurs can't clear, and Liam Vance buries the shot into the BC net. 1-0, less than 3 minutes in. Herbert Endeley with a nice run past the defender. He'll send a crossing pass. Vance scores again. That goal makes it 3-0. Still in the first half, Luke Lindsay sets up Endeley in front, and the junior punches it home to give Totino-Grace a 5-0 halftime lead. They win 10-0. They'll face Benilde in a section semifinal on Tuesday. It's Breck versus Blake in the other semi. Section 5A girls quarterfinals match Breck against Totino-Grace. First half, the Eagles' Sophie Palma, the great free kick. Olivia Olson there with the header, and it's 1-0 Grace. Same score in the second half. Totino's Shaylin Laney in traffic here gets a shot away in for a goal, and the Eagles have a 2-0 lead. Totino-Grace adds 2 more goals. Olson with her second of the match, hitting this kick away for a goal. Totino wins 4-0. They'll meet number 1 seed Blake in Tuesday's semifinals. Benilde and De La Salle in the other semi. After a 2-1 start to the season, the Osseo football team was looking to break a 3-game losing streak. They hosted Anoka in the Orioles' final home game of the regular season. First quarter, and Orioles QB Greg Arell passes to Eli Barlew for a touchdown and a 7-0 Osseo lead. Tornadoes will answer right back. Hunter Smith to Micah Madian at midfield, but he'll break out of traffic here. It takes this one all the way. 60 yards is the scoring play, and it ties the game at 7. That's the way it stays until the fourth quarter. Arell on the rollout left here. He decides he'll keep it. He goes 23 yards for a touchdown, and Osseo is up 14-7. And they'll seal the win late. Johnson Falla will get his second interception of the game. This one will go back for 6 points. The Orioles win 21-7 over Anoka. They're at St. Michael Albertville Wednesday. At Armstrong, the Falcons aiming for their 5th win of the season. They hosted Coon Rapids. No score in the second quarter. Cardinals' short field goal attempt blocked. And Makai Bessick scoops it up. He takes this one back all the way for a score. 85 yards on the blocked field goal for a touchdown. And it's 7-0 Falcons. Tied at 7. Armstrong quarterback Jake Breitbach will fake the handoff, and he keeps it. And a lot of room here for Breitbach. He goes 42 yards for a touchdown. The Falcons take a 17-14 lead into halftime. Breck comes back in the second half and throws 2 touchdown passes, both to Ty Bowman. This one for 14 yards in the score. Falcons win 31-14. They'll finish the regular season Wednesday at Chaska. Brooklyn Center is putting together a pretty good season. The Centaurs aimed for their 5th win of the year. They hosted St. Paul Humboldt. After Humboldt scores first, BC dominates play. Davia Gabor finds Junior Kai over the middle on a 4th and 9 play, and the Centaurs grab the lead for good at 7-6. Later in the first, Gabor hits Charles Wiley for a leaping grab over the middle, and it's 13-6 Brooklyn Center after a quarter. Early in the second quarter, Gabor throws deep down the sideline to Rayshawn Douglas, 65 yards for a touchdown, the first of 3 straight for Douglas. Brooklyn Center rolls to a 39-12 win to move to 5-2. And that is all for sports today. Alex and Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Election day is just around the corner, and there are some local candidates running in several school board elections and also for the Golden Valley City Council.
And we will hear from them this week and next, starting with Steve Semler, one of 5 people running for 3 open Hopkins school board seats.
Hi, I'm Steve Semler. I'm running for the Hopkins School Board. I'd appreciate your vote on November 7th. There are 3 open seats on the board, 5 candidates and no incumbents. So vote for the 3 you feel will give us the best mix of experience, talent, and perspective to help guide the Hopkins schools. Hopkins has a lot of good things going for it, and I want to help the district continue to grow those things that are working. Our schools should prepare every student to pursue their dreams, but we're not there yet. In fact, we still have a long way to go. I'm running for school board because I have an ability to make a contribution. I have children who've been through all levels of our school system, including regular and special programs. I also have previous school board experience, and I bring perspectives from business, human resources, and education that cut across boundaries. For more about me, please check out stevesemler.info and exercise your right to vote on November 7th.
You'll be able to see all of the candidate profiles on our website, ccxmedia.org. We'll be right back.
And finally, more than 100 alumni of Golden Valley High School reunite for a walk down memory lane.
A new plaque was put on the walls at Breck School to help remember the high school that was there before. Golden Valley High School was a baby boomer school opening in the late 50s and closing in 1980 when the district merged with the Hopkins School District. Golden Valley alumni have formed a community on Facebook with more than 1,000 members and are proud to have their alma mater remembered.
And we had the Viking mascot before the Minnesota Vikings, 4 years before. We did allow the Minnesota Vikings to take our mascot as their own.
Alumni say their high school was unique because they were a small school surrounded by larger ones. Enrollment peaked at around 160 students. I didn't realize that about the Viking name.
And I didn't even realize those that are newer to the Twin Cities probably didn't realize there was a Golden Valley High School.
Right. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And we will see you back here again on Tuesday, starting at 4 o'clock.